Hey y'all, I'm Rylan. Welcome to my channel. I am here today starting what I'm pretty sure is the third year in a row of doing a reading vlog where I read some of my besties' favorite books from the previous year. So in this vlog, I'll be reading 3 books that my best friend Stasia read in 2022 and loved. I have the list that she gave me right here in front of me. And I know for sure 2 of the books that I'm going to read, one of which I forgot. And I'm now very excited that I'm going to be reading because I forgot that she put it on this list. But, okay, so we're just going to go ahead and dive right into the books that I'm going to be reading, at least the first 2. No idea what any of these books are about for the most part, but if Stasia loved them, I'm sure I'll love them. And she is also doing a video where she reads some of my favorite books from last year. So if it's already out or if it's coming out the same day that I upload mine, I will link it in the description down below for you. But I have 2 books already picked out that I'm going to read. I think I'll probably save the 3rd book to be a surprise for after I finish these first 2 books. But, okay. This is kind of like, I feel like a scattered intro, but okay. Stasia has finally entered into her romance era as of 2022. Very proud of her for it. Love getting all the recommendations for her. So, I will be reading 3 romances for this vlog. First of all, the first book that I'll be reading is One for the Money by Skye Warren. Zero idea what this book is about. But I have read one book by the author before and really enjoyed it. This book, she did say, does end on a cliffhanger, but thankfully my library does have the 2nd book in their Libby system, so I'll probably go ahead and download it if I end up loving this one. I need to know what happens next. And then the 3rd book for this series, I believe, comes out in March or maybe February. But yeah, that is the first book that I'll be reading. I am going to start this one first. It is on my February hopefuls list. So if I read any of these books for this vlog this month, it will be One for the Money. And then the 2nd book that I'll be reading that Stasia loved is actually on my shelf. And I have a special edition of it that I guess I'm going to tab and annotate now. And that is 5 Rounds by Nikki Castle. The only thing that I know about this one is that it is an MMA romance, so like wrestling, I believe is what that acronym is. Wrestling or like fighting or something like that. I'm not really, I see like a boxing, whatever you call it right there, and I see like boxing gloves on some of the pages. Yeah, so like I guess that is the sports trope that this one is about. This one also could be like roommates. Yes. Her best friend offers to let her crash at his house while he's traveling for work. The only problem is she can't stand his arrogant, self-centered roommate Tristan. So it's forced proximity. It sounds like enemies to lovers. They are roommates. And yeah, I think this is going to be a really good one. I have heard amazing things about Nikki Castle. I have read one of her novellas and loved it. So I do have very high hopes for this book. I always hit myself with my books in my face. It's fine. I am going to tab and annotate this book. I'm kind of in love with how thick these pages feel, so I might like write in it as well because Stasia loved it that much, but we'll see. But I think that that's the move that I'm going to make with this book. I have to read it physically, like I can't not. I got the sports romance box from the last chapter in part because of Micaiah Smeltzer, who was included, but also Nikki Castle because I've just heard the best things. Everybody raves about the author. So this will be the 2nd book that I read that Stasia is obsessed with from 2022. And then the 3rd book that I'll be reading, still haven't decided on, but I'll let y'all know after I finish 5 Rounds because we'll keep it a little bit of a surprise, but also I have 0 idea. So the way that I'll go ahead and do this reading vlog is by updating y'all every 50%. I do not anticipate One for the Money by Skye Warren taking me a very long time. I'm pretty sure I read the other book that I read by the author in like one sitting over Christmas break or last summer. It was probably last summer before I moved here. But I read it super quickly and anticipate doing the same thing with this book as well. So, first book that I'll read. In my first update, I'll go ahead and share a synopsis since as of right now, I've got nothing for y'all. I'll share the tropes and we can chat some more about my feelings. But yes, for right now, that's all that I have. So excited for this vlog. Freaking love Stasia, freaking love her book recommendations. So I'm excited to read all of these books and hopefully give them 5 stars just like she did. So I'll go ahead and talk to y'all later whenever I start One for the Money and get 50% of the way into it. Alright my friends, I just got home from work and am now here for my first update for this reading vlog where I read some of Stasia's favorite books. I got to 50% in One for the Money by Skye Warren last night, and when I tell you I'm obsessed, I mean that I am obsessed. I flew through the first 140 pages or so of this book. It's pretty quick, it's a short book, and am so in love with it. So far, I have read from Skye Warren in the past and flew through the author's other book that I had read as well, so it came as no surprise to me that I am doing the same with this one, and I'm absolutely loving it. This is about Ava, who is Eva, maybe is how you pronounce it, who is, I think, the oldest sibling in the Morelli family, which is a very wealthy family that has been created and developed in this world called the Midnight Dynasty that a bunch of romance authors have put together. And so Amelia Wilde, Monica Murphy, Kay Webster, Skye Warren, Jade West, there's a bunch of romance authors who have all contributed to this world, and several of them have written about Morelli's, so different siblings and things like that. So this one follows Eva Morelli and her fake relationship with Finn Hughes, who is another very wealthy man who has a lot of secrets and baggage weighing on him, and they enter into a fake relationship for both of their benefits, and it's just so much fun so far. Finn puts on such a persona. I have my, Starbucks as per usual in my videos. Finn puts on the persona of being such a cocky, arrogant man. He's 29 years old. Ava is 33. So she is the older woman in this relationship. And yeah, he puts on such a persona that's so fake because he feels like he has to, but Eva is slowly starting to break down his walls, and I'm so excited to see that continue happening as we get through the next half of the book. I'm very nervous that I'm going to finish this one in an hour or so, and going to be so distraught over it that I'm going to have to start the next book. Because the way that a lot of these books in this Midnight Dynasty world are set up is that the authors make them all into trilogies, and so they all end on cliffhangers, which makes readers want to keep going because they end on cliffhangers. And also, normally the first book is free on Amazon in all of these trilogies, again, to grab attention, and then suck readers in and getting them wanting to pay more money to finish the trilogy. So I do have the second book already on my Kindle. I purchased it. I had some Kindle credits, so I got that, and I'm nervous. But I think it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited to see what happens. We've just started hitting the spice. Eva and Finn are growing closer. They're getting to know more about each other, their real selves, versus just the masks that they both put on in front of the world. And I love it. I love how their fake relationship is slowly blossoming into something more, and that Finn is opening up to Eva because he hasn't been able to do that or wanted to do that in so long. So that's my update for One for the Money. This was one of Stasia's favorite books from last year, and rightly so. I am enjoying the heck out of it so far and cannot wait to keep going with it. I'll update y'all again hopefully in the next day or so. I do plan to finish the book during my live sprints that are going to be happening in an hour or so. Then I'll come back and give y'all my final rating and final thoughts on this book, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be 5 stars because I just can't not love Finn and Eva because they're just great. So that's my first update. So far, Stasia is top tier picks, top tier favorites, and I cannot wait to keep going. So I'll talk to y'all again when I finish this book, and then we'll decide, or we'll talk about my next read for this vlog, which is going to be 5 rounds, which is right here. Also, I did get another bookshelf. I don't know if I said that when I first started this clip, but I got a new bookshelf because I have too many books, and I wanted another place for romance. So yeah, alright. That's all that I have for this update. I'll talk to y'all later. Okay, so I just finished reading One for the Money 2 hours after filming my last update. I'm currently live on reading sprints. My laptop camera is definitely pointing in this direction so people on the live can kind of see me doing my update, although there is a chair right here blocking the view kind of. But finish this book. Haven't given it a rating technically, but just based off how fast I read the book, how enamored I was with it from the beginning, how much I love the characters. I think I'm gonna give this one 4.5 stars. It would be 5 stars, I think, but I didn't get as like emotional, I guess, as I thought I was going to. The ending definitely left my jaw dropping, but the problem is that I don't love the trope that was introduced at the end of the book. I'm not going to spoil it by saying what that trope was or what that like event that happened was, but I'm not a fan of that happening in books. I feel like a lot of times it's used as a way to bring two characters back together, like because that's like the only way that they'll get back together. And I don't know, I don't like the inclusion of that in books. I love in real life, love me some, yeah, I'm not gonna spoil anything. Love in real life, fine. That's so vague and none of y'all know what I'm talking about unless you've read this book. But I wasn't a fan of how it ended, I guess. Although I will be reading the next one soon, maybe in March, just because I need to know what happens next. And then the third book in this trilogy just came out, Stasia said, I think like this month, or like maybe this week even, like as I'm filming this specific section. So 4.5 stars for me. We'll see if I change my mind later down the road, as I am still like high on the adrenaline of finishing the book. But first book for Stasia's favorites vlog is done, and definitely really enjoyed it, and yeah, would recommend. I'm kind of stressed out right now, but I'm excited to keep going with it eventually and get more from Eva and Finn. They're both just such heartwarming characters, and they both are opening up to each other, but I don't know, there's a lot of stuff going on in their lives and it's hard. So first book, yay, done, really enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm excited to read more. But now we are going to be moving on to our second book, which is 5 Rounds by Nikki Castle. This is the special edition from the Last Chapter bookshop. Stasia read this book last year and absolutely loved it. I remember her talking about it, and it's been on my TBR for a minute, but really wanted the special edition in the Last Chapter sports romance box, so I'm glad that I was able to get it, and I will be annotating this copy. I don't always annotate special editions, but I just have a really good feeling about this book. I know that I'm going to love it. If I don't, I will cry. But because I just have this really good feeling about it, I'm gonna go ahead and tab this edition. I'll ask Stasia if it's worth writing in, but I'll definitely tab it and annotate it in that way. But no idea what this one is about. Mine is that it's forced proximity and roommates. I'll let y'all know more about the synopsis when I get to 50%. Not going to be starting it today or this weekend even, but this will be next up on my list for this vlog. It's on my March hopefuls, so I will be getting to it soon, but it's only mid-February right now. I'm very much ahead of the game, but maybe if I finish the rest of my books on my hopefuls for this month, I'll go ahead and get to this one early. So that is all that I have for this update. I'll talk to y'all again in a couple of weeks probably when I get to the 50% mark of 5 Rounds by Nikki Castle. So it has been actual weeks since my last vlog update, and I know for a fact that I mentioned I would be starting 5 Rounds by Nikki Castle for my second book for this vlog, where I'm reading Stasia's favorite books, but that did not happen. I instead started my surprise book that I hadn't told y'all yet because I had no idea what it was going to be, and that is Always Mine by Laura Pavlov. I am 50% into this book. I am listening to it on audio. Physical reading just hasn't happened for me recently, but thank goodness audiobooks have been a saving grace for me over the last several weeks. It's just been a very crazy time and I'm not quite sure what's going on right now. But I did get to 50% in Laura Pavlov last night while I was cleaning my room a little bit, and so far I am very much enjoying it. I'm starting to understand the hype behind this author and this series. Stasia talks about it all the time, and I'm now getting into the series. So far really good. This is a friends to lovers with benefits, or friends with benefits to lovers romance between Nico and Vivian, I believe is the female main character's name. Let me just confirm that. Vivian, yes. They grew up in this very small town together. They've been best friends since childhood. Nico is very much a playboy in the town. He doesn't do relationships, but there's always been like something deep inside of him that like has had feelings for Vivian. And so when they decide to do this like friends to benefits or friends with benefits thing, it works for a little bit and then it doesn't. Nico doesn't want to get attached to her, but Vivian is like, I want to give this a try. Like I think I have real strong feelings for you. I think that you are the one. And so they're trying to navigate this relationship right now. I am loving the family bonds that are in this book, especially with Vivian's family. She has like 4 or 5 sisters. They're great. Her dad is very entertaining. Nico is a firefighter who works at the station with Vivian's dad, who is the captain. And it's just so much fun. There are a lot of very heavy conversations in this book as well. Nico was abused as a child. Vivian lost her mother a couple years ago, so there's grief and like abuse in the book. We do see the not consequences of the abuse, but how Nico is today because of what he went through as a child. We see that quite a bit and it's really hard to read about sometimes or like listen to sometimes, but I am really enjoying this book so far. So far it's shaping up to be a 4 or 5 star read. If I end up crying, it will definitely be 5 stars. If I don't cry, it might still be 5 stars. I don't know. I'm loving it so much so far and I'm excited to see where it goes. Hopefully there's no third act breakup. I hate them in books. I don't know why they're always necessary in romance, but we'll see what ends up happening. Hopefully that's not super frustrating. But this isn't a super long book. I think I have 2-ish hours left in the audiobook. So hopefully, according to like Audible, once I've sped up my audio to 2 times speed, it'll like adjust the time left in the book. So I think I have like 2-ish hours left and I'm hoping to finish it at some point this week. It is Sunday, starting a new week. Easter is next weekend, so I have like a little break off work. I have a 3-day weekend, so hopefully I'll have some extra time to read. I am driving home. I don't know, we'll see what ends up happening, but my goal is to finish it this week, and then after that, whenever I get a chance, I will start 5 Rounds by Nikki Castle. I only have a month left of school, so hopefully I can get like 1 or 2 physical books in before finals, just because you know finals is a very crazy time. But I don't know, if not, I'll just have to wait until school is over to read this, or I'll forget about annotating and just do the audiobook. But I really want to annotate this one because I've just heard great things about this author. I've read Nikki Castle's novella and loved it, so I do want to read this one physically. But that's not the point right now. I still need to come back with my final update for Always Mine, and then I will try to hopefully have finalized plans for what's next. Maybe I'll not even read this one at all, and maybe I'll read another one that was on Stasia's list. Who knows? We're gonna see what happens with life over the next couple of weeks, and I'll get back to you on that. But so far so good. I'll update y'all once again when I get to 100%, when I finish the book. Hopefully that's not too long from now. It'll just depend on when I have time to film an update. So I'll talk to y'all later. Loving this book so far. Thank you, Stasia, for picking it out. I'm getting the hype. Cannot wait to see where it goes. Again, I will talk to you all later. Alright y'all, I'm here with my next update. I did my last update like 2 days ago, so I'm very impressed with myself, if I'm being completely honest. I did finish Always Mine last night. I'm gonna give it 5 stars. I did tear up while reading the book. Didn't full on cry, but there were definitely a lot of emotions going on, especially near the end. So 5 stars to Laura Pavlov. I think Stasia is definitely opening my eyes more to the superiority of the friends to lovers trope. I do still think that enemies to lovers ranks higher than friends to lovers for me personally, but I think for so long I wasn't loving friends to lovers. I didn't read a ton of it, but I like the bullying, I guess, that sometimes comes with enemies to lovers. And friends to lovers, I don't know, I feel like I slept on it for so long, but I'm finally being convinced. I think that it's a very fun trope, and Laura Pavlov, I need to read more from her. This is the first book that I read from her. Stasia talks about her all the time. I feel like we will, I believe, be reading one of her books for our book club later this summer, and overall 5 stars, loved it. Content warning for fires, grief, loss of loved one, alcoholic father, abuse, arson, sexual content. I think those are the big ones. Cheating is a big one too, but I will have a full list in the description down below if I missed any. But 5 stars. Loved it. Definitely check the trigger warnings for this one though. It is a small town romance, but it does still deal with a lot of very heavy topics. So check those out. Love this book. 5 stars. I will be reading more from the author, hopefully soon. And yeah, great. Perfect. Thank you, Stasia, for picking that book out for me. I did also start today my final book for this vlog. I kept saying I was going to do 5 rounds, but I'm not feeling like reading physically. So I started my audiobook while I was at work. I am reading my final book for this vlog, which is which is My Brother's Forbidden Friend by Piper Rain. This was another book on her list. I was gonna go with 5 rounds first on Stasia's list. I was gonna go with 5 rounds, but after finishing Laura Pavlov last night, I was like, let's just get another audiobook. Hoopla had the audio for this one free, so I didn't have to use a credit for it on Audible. The audiobook is only 6 hours and 12 minutes long, so I can listen to it in like 3 hours if I want to. I'm already 15% of the way through the book, so I do feel like I can finish it this week, especially with the Easter holiday coming up. I'm a little bit ahead on my schoolwork, so I should be able to get this vlog done by the end of the week, and we can upload our vlogs next week because we were supposed to have these up by mid-March, and here I am, beginning of April, still not done yet, but it's fine. I do have some book mail that I just got that I wanted to go ahead and open for y'all while I was still here. I ordered these books a couple of weeks ago in March, so they're mentioned in my March book haul and budgeting video that I'll have going up. If it's not already up, it will be going up very soon, but I hadn't had the books when I filmed that, so they're here now and I want to show y'all. They're very hyped up books. Yeah, they're very hyped up books. Whew, love the satisfaction of ripping that off. But Book Depository had these 2 books right here for pretty cheap. I got 2 Monica Murphy books for $26, which I thought was pretty impressive because they're kind of expensive on Amazon. So I got Things I Wanted to Say But Never Did, which I've heard is so good. This is the first book in the Lancaster Prep series, I believe is the official name. And then I also got A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime, which everybody raves about. I love Monica Murphy. I've read 3 books by her, I believe, and all of them have been 4 or 5 stars. So I did get these 2. I've heard amazing things about them and am so excited to finally own them. They are both on Kindle Unlimited, but they were so cheap on Book Depository that I decided to just go ahead and buy them physically because I do want to annotate them when I read them. So here I am. Yay, so excited to add these 2 to my collection. So yeah, book haul for y'all a little bit, kind of. Yeah, so I'll update y'all when I get to 50% of My Brother's Forbidden Friend. My Brother's Forbidden Friend, and we'll chat some more. So far it's pretty good. It's another small town romance. They're kind of like enemies to lovers, yeah, but also brother's best friend, so they did grow up around each other, but they do like to antagonize each other, so I'm not sure if that's technically considered enemies to lovers, but there's definitely very much a I don't like you kind of thing going on, and the best friend, whose name is Cam, is very protective over, oh gosh, what is the girl's name? Shay, it's gonna bother me that I don't know what her name is. Chevelle, I believe is how you pronounce it. I can confirm that in my next clip if I've listened to the audiobook recently, but I'm pretty sure that's her name. And yeah, it's really good so far. She is a boat owner and she takes parties out on the water. He is working for his dad, who owns the marina where she stores her boat and runs her business out of. And yeah, it's fun so far. All the small town vibes. I don't really read small town romance, but Stasia might be turning me into a small town romance reader. So far so good. I'll update y'all hopefully on Wednesday, in 2 days, 48 hours or so, with my next update. I don't anticipate this book taking me a very long time to finish. Again, it's 3 hours long. I could finish the book on my way home in a couple of days if I really needed to. But yeah, so that's all that I have for this update. I'll talk to y'all 2 more times, but my next update will be when I get to 50% of My Brother's Forbidden Friend. There is like really bad wind currently. We are in the middle of a storm. I didn't realize when I moved down here that Nashville is prone to storms all the time, but I wanted to do my vlog update really quickly. I did just get home from work. It's 80 degrees outside. I need to turn on the AC probably. But hello, I'm here with my 50% update for My Brother's Forbidden Friend by Piper Rain. Really enjoying it so far. I don't have a ton to say about it. Basically what I said in my last update with the little synopsis at the beginning is what the book is about. It's only like 230 pages long. I'm already halfway through it. I have like less than 2 hours left in the audiobook, I'm pretty sure, or like right around 2 hours left in the audio. So I'm hoping to finish it either tonight or tomorrow, and I'll do my final vlog update for this video when I go home for Easter break this weekend. Sorry, I'm like looking at these huge trees outside that are very unstable right now with the wind, and the rain is coming, and whew, there's a lot going on out there. But so far, so good. Again, really enjoying it. I think that Stasia has spectacular tastes in romance. This is another small town romance. I think I mentioned after finishing Laura Pavlov that she might be getting me into a subgenre or a trope, I guess, within the romance genre. And this one is also a small town, so very much vibing with it and really enjoying it. I really don't have like a ton to say about it. I'm really enjoying the vibes between Cam and Chevelle, I believe is the female main character's name. He is pining after her like so hard, but he doesn't let it show at all, and they very much have like a banter to love thing, kind of an enemies to lovers type thing going on, and I'm very excited to watch it continue to develop. Okay, so that's all that I have for this vlog update. Really not super long. I don't have a ton to say about the book, but I'll do my final update when I finish the book, hopefully in a couple of days, and we'll wrap up this vlog. Stasia, so far so good. I have really enjoyed all of your picks, and I think that this one will be another 4 or 5 star read. So I'll talk to you all in a couple of days when I finish my final book. Hey y'all, I'm home for Easter break, so we get to see my beautiful home bookshelf once again, but I am officially here with my final updates and wrap up for this vlog. I did finish My Brother's Forbidden Friend a couple nights ago and really enjoyed it overall. I'm giving this book 4 stars. There is nothing wrong with it. It wasn't like an overwhelming favorite of mine. It was cute, it was fun, it was fast, and that's how I like my books to read. So really enjoyed this one, would recommend it. I do plan to read more by the author, which I believe is Piper Rain, I think is the author of this book. This is the 9th book in a very big series, or this might be like the last book, but there's 8 books before it, following other family members and friends that are kind of scattered throughout this series. And I do kind of want to go back and read some of them, so maybe I will do that at some point. But overall, really fun. Had a great time with it. Trigger warnings for it do include loss of a loved one, drowning, I'm pretty sure it's drowning, cancer scare in the past, kind of like emotional manipulation or abuse from a parent, that's that, or like a toxic relationship, I guess, between parents and child. And yes, I will have a full list as always in the description down below, but those are the first ones that are coming into my head as I'm trying to reflect on the book, even though it's only been a couple of days. I gotta remember what it's all about. So I'll have a full list in the description down below, again, like I normally do. But finishing this book does wrap up my reading Stasia's favorite books from 2022 reading vlog. I had so much fun. Let's just do a very quick wrap up of everything that I read for this vlog, because it definitely has spanned a couple of weeks minimum, if not months. So first I read One for the Money by Skye Warren, 4.5 stars. Really enjoyed it. Hated the trope that was introduced at the end, but it was a cliffhanger. I need to know what happens next. So 4.5 stars. And then next I read Always Mine by Laura Pavlov, 5 stars. Loved it. I need to read more from this author. Stasia has definitely gotten me hooked on a new romance trope. And then finally, I just read and finished My Brother's Forbidden Friend by Piper Rain. Again, like I just said a little bit ago, enjoyed this one, 4 stars. Would recommend. All of these were really fun romances. Some are more like fast-paced and intense than others, but overall just had a really great time reading some of Stasia's favorite books. I can definitely say that they are her favorites for a very good reason. Sorry, there was dust. And I'm not surprised that these ended up on her 2022 favorites list because they were all just so much fun. Cannot wait to read more from all of these authors, and yeah, great job, Stasia. Thank you for making me read some of these books. I had a lot of fun with them. You have opened me up to some new authors and tropes, and I'm excited to keep diving into them. So that's all that I have for today's video. I will have Stasia's vlog where she reads my favorite books from last year in the description down below. Make sure to go check it out. I do not know what book she's reading for me. I haven't really talked to her about them, except for one that I know that she's reading, so I'm very curious to see what she read for my vlog and also hear her thoughts. So that's all that I have for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.